Hi everybody and welcome to session 5. Don't forget to check out the course plan for the big picture view of what you need to be doing. Also be sure that you're making acceptable progress on that field experience project. It's due at the end of the semester, which will be here before you know it, and that project is key to getting credit in this class. It's a certification requirement that you have 10 hours of a field experience. So be sure you read those instructions immediately. If you haven't read them thoroughly yet, you need to do that and make sure you're doing everything properly. Let me know if you have any questions on that. This session's big issue is about bring your own technology in the school setting. It's a popular initiative in Georgia in Carrollton City Schools, Carroll County Schools, Douglas County, Coweta County, Forsyth County, Cobb County. I mean, it's all over the place. It's all over the place where they're letting students bring cell phones and other devices to school to use for research purposes and whatever they can to help the learning experience of students. It also has a lot of potential for speech-language pathologists as well. I mean, iPads are incredible. They have a lot of things on them that can help clients with speech issues. So BYOT applies to teachers and SLPs, and BYOT itself may not be considered an educational issue. I would call it a reform. It's possibly meant to address problems that have existed. And so what you're going to do is you're going to learn about BYOT. I have 4 really easy to read, super short, popular articles. They're not research articles. They're not heavy. Like some of the things you've read in this class have been sort of heavy, more academic, historical, that kind of thing. These are written for a popular audience, for like school principals that are really busy, for school librarians that are really busy, and it's just to the point. So there's 4 articles I want you to read. I also sort of frame it, before those articles, I want you to check out the David and Cuban resources, which are inside of the learning module. There's a great chart about the many influences of school reform. It's easy to think that what goes on in our classroom has nothing to do with the rest of the world, that it's a special place that's not impacted by anything. But that chart is a great reminder of all the things that swirl around that classroom or that therapy room, if you will, that change what we do with our students. They impact it in a multitude of ways. And BYOT is an example of something that a lot of teachers didn't pick. They didn't select that. They didn't decide that that was something that was appropriate for the classroom, and then suddenly they come in one year and this is what they're being told to do. And so this is an example of reform that's being pushed down on the classroom that in many cases teachers embrace, in other cases they might not. And so it's just so we're looking at it through the reform lens. We're not looking at BYOT as an issue necessarily, although you could say it is one, but maybe BYOT was brought in to address issues. And so when you're reading, maybe that's the way you look at it. But anyway, it's interesting. It's just a really timely thing, and one of our course objectives in this class is to learn about educational technology. So I thought this was a good, timely issue that we see everywhere, and a lot of you have already been in BYOT classrooms, and you know all about it. You might have little siblings that have their BYOT or BYOD as they call it. Be sure that you go and check out your Blog Buddies post at some point later in the module, maybe a few days after the module ends, and promote it on the Google community. This session project is the Hot Topics in Education assignment. I want you to go look for another issue in education that interests you. I have created an enormous list of issues that are potential candidates, giving you more resources than you could ever want. I think probably too much information, but anyway, there's all kinds of neat stuff out there. I think I gave you a bunch of links to newspapers, like to the education pages of newspapers, which are a great place to go look at what people are talking about and what is really irritating people about education, like what is bothering teachers in LA, or what is irking parents up in Washington, D.C., or whatever. I mean, the newspapers are one of the best places to go and look for educational issues. So anyway, I give you a great place to sort of generate ideas, and then just go check out that assignment. You're going to sort of report on that hot topic that you pick. And as for moments in educational history, I thought I would highlight something that's kind of going on right now. It's in current history. It's actually more of a current event, and it has to do with the push to bring computer science to students all over the world. And I came across this article, and it was really interesting about women in, where was it, Uganda, learning how to do computer programming. And we're trying to do the same thing for students in Carroll County right now through another program. So anyway, it's an interesting educational thing. It's a movement we're seeing in response to this educational issue that students don't know enough about computer programming. That's a potential thing, actually, that one of you could study for your hot topic, by the way. All right, and make sure that you post your Session 5 takeaways. Let me know how I can help if you want to talk about anything, and enjoy Session 5.